Sunday, and today is October 5th, so it is the last day of the season for the Phillips 26 Glacier Cruise, and I've got a ticket. It is 7:48. The oven says 7:48, the microwave says 7:51, so it's like 10 till 8 o'clock in the morning. I have a backpack packed up. I've got a bottle of water. I've got my rainproof pants. I've got hats, gloves. I'm gonna take my phone for my camera. I have got my external battery pack for my phone, so I've got a charging cable. The cruise does not leave until 12. However, I think all aboard is like 11:30 or 11:45, and then also they tell you, because it's leaving out of Whittier, we've got to take the Anton Anderson tunnel, which is a timed entry. So I think the Phillips cruise website says to take the 10:30 tunnel. So I'm trying to get out of here early enough that I can make the 10:30 tunnel. I'm probably going to have oodles of time, but I would rather have excess time than be late and miss the cruise. So I think I'm ready to get out of the house. I'm going to take my Kenai Fjords souvenir coffee cup, mostly because I know I get free refills or free coffee, like hot beverages on this cruise, the Phillips cruise, but I don't know what kind of cup they're going to have, and if I can use a reusable one, I would rather do that. So I think I'm ready. I'm gonna get in the car and hit the road. It's raining today, so probably not gonna do a time lapse of the driving down there, but we might do a little bit of driving through the tunnel, because I do think the tunnel is kind of cool. So we'll see, but I'll see you on the other side of the tunnel in Whittier. I'm still on the Anchorage side of the Anton Anderson Memorial Tunnel, but I wanted to share this with you because we did the Portage Glacier Cruise, we being you and also me. But when I did the Portage Glacier Cruise at the beginning of this trip to Alaska, this over here, that is the dock, okay, for the Portage Glacier Cruise. So this is Portage Lake, and Portage Glacier would be back behind that. But clearly it's rainy and cloudy and hazy today. And apparently this valley is known for high winds, so that's to be expected. But I'm in a little kind of parking lot type situation. And over here, these are the round-trip tolls for the Anton Anderson Memorial Tunnel. So I will need to pay $13. So if you decide to do this 26 Glacier Cruise with Phillips, depending on the time of year that you go, they sometimes will offer train service to Whittier and then back to Anchorage. And they also offer bus coach service. So I know that the train service is dependent upon the train operation of the season. So right now, the train was not an option for me today. I could have added coach service, and taking the bus I think has some pros. I wouldn't have had to drive. I won't have to pay for gas. I wouldn't have to pay for the toll, to go through the tunnel. I wouldn't have to pay for parking on the other side, because I do know that I have to pay for parking to park the car for the duration of the cruise. It is what it is. But I just wanted to have my own car today. Sometimes I think coach service is nice, and sometimes I think it's more of a hindrance, because sometimes it's just nice to be able to do your own thing. If I decide I'm really hungry, or if I need to stop somewhere on the way up to Anchorage on the way home today, or if I wanted to stop and do this today, this wouldn't have been an option for me on the coach. So it's an option sometimes, not through the whole season. Today is the last day of the season. October 5th, 2025 is the last day of the 2025 season to do this cruise. So I'm excited. Now the Anton Anderson Memorial Tunnel, I've talked about it in a different video. It is a one-way tunnel, and it serves not only cars, vehicular traffic, but it also serves the train. So they rotate the direction of traffic every 30 minutes. And then I think it's 15 minutes for cars and then 15 minutes for trains. So I think there's a specific window. So That's why there's like a specific window that we have to like go through the tunnel, because that window won't open again for another hour. So I think the website said the 10:30 tunnel. It is 9:01. I am really early. Hello, 13? No, I haven't. I've ridden through it, but never driven.
No stopping unless it's emergency and headlights on.
Okay, how fast?
25.
25, okay. All right, thank you so much.
Sure receipt?
Oh, sure.
Thank
Thank you very much. Okay, so I don't know if you heard that. Myself in the park, because I'm just gonna have to wait. Oh, she gave me a map. That's nice. So I have a receipt, $13. So that's round trip, so that will get me into Whittier and then back out. She gave me a map. I love maps. Oh, so opening this up, here's some tunnel information for our safety. Drive with headlights on. Maximum speed is 25 miles per hour or 40 kilometers per hour. No tailgating. Maintain a minimum safe distance of 100 feet or 30 meters between vehicles. Buses must maintain 1,600 feet. Trucks should maintain 500 feet between vehicles. Motorcycle helmets are required in the tunnel. Convertible vehicles must have the top in place. Tire chains are not permitted in the tunnel. No stopping unless there is an emergency. No stopping at the entrance or exit. And then maintain speed upon exiting the tunnel. There are signals inside the tunnel. Green light means proceed as normal. Red light means stop your vehicle. Maintain a minimum of 35 feet between vehicles. Turn off your engine. Remain in your vehicle and wait for traffic signal to turn green. So here's the tunnel schedule for winter, since we're now in October. In the winter, the tunnel does not open until 7 a.m. And the first direction that opens at 7 a.m. is from Whittier into this valley, which is called Bear Valley. So Whittier to Bear Valley, 7 a.m. to 7:15. 7:30 to 7:45 is the reverse direction. So it looks like the top of the hour comes from Whittier, and then the bottom of the hour goes into Whittier. Tunnel closes at 10:45. So the last time that you can go through the tunnel at night is from 10:30 to 10:45. And that's from the valley into Whittier. They do have a bunch of different lanes of traffic. So I'm in lane 1 right now. Lane 2 is also, oh sorry, let me just read this instead of trying to remember what the sign said that I drove under. Lanes 1 through 3 are for Class A vehicles, cars, and light trucks. Lane 4 is for motorhomes, boats, or minibuses. Lane 5 is for buses with passengers. Lane 6 is for trucks. Lane 7 is overflow. And lane 8 is oversized with permits or empty buses. So they're calling this the staging area. U-turns and foot traffic are prohibited except in emergencies, so we've got to stay in the car. Strongly recommended that you stay in your vehicle. Keep out of the exit lane, especially children and pets. Do not cross the median. So this is actually really, really helpful. Now I'm gonna eat my breakfast because I've got 15 minutes. I have made it. I am parked in the Cliffside Marina parking lot, which is the one like right outside the, getting a text message, just like I'm looking right at the pier for the cruise. I'm very excited. I've got oodles of time. It is 9:45. Ask me if I care if I'm early. Did you ask? I'm gonna tell you anyway. No, I don't care that I'm early because I would so much rather be early than late. I would explore Whittier some. I could, but I'm warm right now and I don't really want to get out of the car and get rained on and also cold. Also, what was I thinking? Taking a shower this morning, my hair is still wet. It's not gonna dry. It's just gonna get rained on and wetter. Unless I spend the whole time of the cruise inside the cruise. Actually, since we're here, let's talk just a minute. Let me pull up their website. I have some fun facts about the cruise that I want to share before I get actually on the cruise. They have a no seasickness guarantee. Prince William Sound is naturally protected from the strong currents found in the Gulf of Alaska by a series of barrier islands. The seas are generally calm in the fjords, and our vessels are large catamarans, providing extra stability for a smooth and comfortable cruise. So if you get seasick, they have a no seasickness guarantee. We will receive professional narration about the history, the native people, World War II, geology, glaciers, and wildlife in Prince William Sound by a ranger from the Chugach National Forest Service. I am very excited about that. We get a complimentary hot meal. I had to select the meal when I paid for the ticket. So they have options. For kids, they have a kids meal, which is an all beef hot dog, a fruit snack, and chips. Now when they say fruit snack, my mind immediately goes to like the Welch's gummy fruit snacks or the Scooby-Doo gummies fruit snacks, you know what I mean? I don't know if that's what they mean or if they mean like you get apple slices. We will see. They have a vegetarian, also gluten-free option, and that is their hearty vegetable chili. But you have to request that 48 hours before departure, and it includes the same sides as the next option, which is the Wild Alaska Smoked Salmon Chowder. And that is served with fresh julienne vegetable coleslaw, oyster crackers, multigrain roll, cheddar cheese stick, fruit snack, and a peppermint patty. Meals are not provided for infants aged 0 to 24 months. They have a full-service bar, and it features a signature drink called the Glacier Ice Margarita, meaning they will fish out some glacier ice from the water, and then they're going to break it up and make margaritas with it, which is kind of cool. They have other specialty drinks, like the Klondike coffee or the Polar Bear. I don't know what those are. They have Alaskan ales and craft beers, wines, cocktails, a variety of non-alcoholic beverages, snacks, and they have gift shop items for purchase. You cannot take your own alcohol on board. I did not bring anything. I brought a water bottle and an empty, coffee cup. What to wear/bring. The weather in Alaska changes throughout the day. We recommend wearing layered clothing and comfortable non-skid shoes. Bring a wind and water repellent jacket, sunglasses, a warm hat, and gloves. Don't forget your smartphone, camera, and a USB cord to recharge during a cruise. So one of the things that I learned about the Phillips Glacier Cruise, the 26 Glacier Cruise, or I guess this cruise line in general, is that one of their points of pride about their catamarans, is their sailing vessels, is that they have USB charging stations, I think at most seats inside, which major upgrade, because I did the Kenai Fjords cruise. I vlogged most everything on my iPhone, but I had to use my external battery, which is fine, that works. But then I'm carrying the external battery around, and the one I have is big. This is my external battery. You can see through the mesh bag. I've got a lightning cable, I have a USB-C cable, and then I have the charging cables for the crazy battery pack in here, so I just keep everything in here. And I also keep a spare Ziploc bag in here just in case. But this thing can charge I think it's got, it has 3 USB-Cs. So these two are the charging ports for this thing, that's the input, but it has 3 USB-C outlets, or USB-As, sorry, for outputs to charge from. But having seats with USB chargers in them is awesome. Okay, so I have more details about traveling by car, rail, or coach. So the coach bus package, including the cruise, is available, or was available this year, from May 3rd through today, October 5th. The train package was available May 17th, 18th, and 21st. And then every day from May 24th through September 15th of 2025. So the train has a lot of other things depending on it, but I think that would be probably the coolest experience, to take the train. I would always rather take a train than a bus, but I just drove myself. They provide complimentary hot tea, coffee, and ice water throughout the cruise. Condiments for lunch or snack service and extra napkins are also available from the bartender for your use during the cruise. They actually offer 2 different itineraries. So they have the 26 Glacier Cruise, and they have a shorter Glacier Quest cruise that does a different route. So now that I'm doing this one today, I have to come back and I have to do the Glacier Quest. Not really, but I would like to. They will have a snack bar on board. During the cruise, our snack bar is open for purchase throughout the voyage. We offer nacho chips with cheese and bison dogs. In our display area for gifts and other items, we also have jerky sticks, trail mix, chocolate bars, and other snack items to help satisfy your cravings. I brought a bagel because it's what I had at the house. So they do have a little miniature gift shop on board, but they also have a gift shop in town. Actually, this one's in Anchorage. It's called Grizzly's Gifts, located at the corner of 4th and E Street in downtown Anchorage, or online. Their larger vessels have multiple restrooms on the main and upper decks, with 7 restrooms on the Klondike Express and a total of 9 on the Bravest. I have no idea what vessel I will be on today. Here's more about their USB charging stations. Our 26 Glacier Cruise uses the Klondike Express, the Bravest, and the Chugach Express. While viewing Prince William Sound, the cool air can often drain batteries quicker than expected. As technology advances, Phillips leads the industry by being the first day cruise tour operator to enhance our guest experience by installing USB charging stations at every guest table. These personal charging ports make it easier for guests to recharge their batteries and share more photos from their cruise. On the Glacier Quest cruise, which I guess uses different vessels, a few shared outlets are available requiring the charging cord and the cube compatible with your device. This is a big selling feature for me, okay? They have reserved seating. So something that happened on the Kenai Fjords cruise that I don't even think I talked about. They have like a bunch of tables with seats and chairs inside and also outside. I thought immediately, since I'm a single individual person, I will just sit outside because I don't need a table, like I don't need to be inside, I'm gonna be outside most of the time. I immediately went up to the top deck on the Kenai Fjords cruise, and all of the outside deck tables were taken. So I just went back in and I ended up finding a table that was like out of the way downstairs, like on the lower deck. And then a lady at the table next to me, like they came in, they had sat down at a different table, like the one next to me, and then like I moved into this table because there was no one there. And I think the whole ship, or I think everyone had boarded by this point. So I just kind of sat down because the table was empty. And this lady at the table next to me, they already had their table. She kind of yelled at me because there was like an accessibility sticker on the window on like the row across, like on it's same table, but like the seats across from me. So like, if this is the table, I'm sitting here and these seats are the ones marked for like the accessibility purposes. I'm like one person. All I need is one chair to put my butt in, you know? Because it was a 6-hour cruise, but this lady yelled at me. And I was like, I would be happy to swap tables with you. And she was like, no. Because she was like, my husband is disabled. And I'm like, okay. And I was like, I'm happy to switch tables with you, I don't care. And she was like, no, we need this one too. And I'm like, so you need 2 tables? I was really confused. Because I'm like, it's not that like I'm married to this table, but it's the only one left. Like where can I sit? You know? So she ended up being like, we can share it. I'm like, okay. It's fine. So the reserved seating on this itinerary is a major selling feature for me, because like I just need a place to sit down. I don't need a whole table to myself. I don't need a lot of privacy. I don't need, you know, I just need to be able to sit down without being yelled at by strangers, you know? So here's what they say about their reserved seating. Large picture windows provide a view from every seat on the main and second deck on each vessel. Reserved indoor seating for each confirmed guest provides a designated location where we will serve lunch and creates a base camp to keep personal items during the cruise. Guests can move about the vessel to take advantage of the many outside observation decks. And they do have some pictures, so it does kind of help prepare you for what to expect on board, which I appreciate. Their website's great. They are ADA accessible. The Glacier Quest cruise has booth-style seating for all guests and can accommodate those who can walk short distances, ascend stairs, or step over a raised threshold. The 26 Glacier Cruise utilizes high-speed catamarans that provide excellent stability and can easily accommodate most guests who use a manual or motorized wheelchair. A limited number of tables are available for ADA access. So that sounds more similar to the Kenai Fjords cruise that I went on recently. Phillips Cruises coach service uses full-size motor coaches and can provide lift access for guests who require it. Please notify us at least 72 hours before travel to confirm availability. The Alaska Railroad offers lift access to their rail cars for pickup in Anchorage, Girdwood, and Whittier. Please notify us at least 8 days before travel to ensure your request can be accommodated by the Alaska Railroad. So if you have special needs, if you need special like equipment to help you, you know, move around, just communicate that with them as far in advance as you can. And I would kind of probably keep that line of communication open. I would not just call them once and tell them and assume that it's all good. It probably is, but I'm the kind of person that I would call and tell them in advance, as far in advance as possible. And then I would probably call them when I get closer to that like due date, and then I would call again maybe the day before just to make sure. for Alaska residents specifically. This is not available for everybody, but for people who live in Alaska, they have a Klondike Club, so you can like earn points, and for those, like the points you earn, you can actually redeem on free cruises, which is very cool. So I don't count in that, so I'm not part of that, but it's kind of neat. So that is what I have learned about the 26 Glacier Cruise so far, and I'm not on board yet. I've talked forever. I'm just gonna sit here and enjoy the ambiance for a few minutes because it's now 10:04. I've got plenty of time before I need to board. Okay, I have decided that since we are here in town, we're just gonna do a quick lap around Whittier because, truth be told, it is not very big. So while we're here, we'll just take a quick peek around. So those are the train tracks over there. And this is the road. Let me see if I can keep the windshield a little bit clearer. So the Alaska Marine Highway ferry does come into Whittier. Actually, Whittier was completely inaccessible by road until they built the tunnel, which is kind of neat. And there are not very many people who live here in Whittier, and most of them who do live here live in that building over there, which you can't really see very well, that one. So it's kind of like an apartment building, which is kind of neat. There are a few nice, little souvenir shops here in Whittier. I think it's Prince William Salt Company is based here in Whittier. They also have Whittier Fudge. There's a couple of restaurants in town, a couple of cafes, a couple of museums, some hikes. But really, there's not a whole lot in Whittier. Just as an outsider, I'm sure people who live here think that there's, way more to do. But I've not spent oodles of time here. Ships will actually come into Whittier, and so you'll probably get off a cruise or get on a cruise here in Whittier. There's the Swiftwater Seafood Cafe. This is Prince William Sound Salt Company. They've got a jet ski tours company. That is not something I would be interested in today because it is simply too cold. But look, can you see? Look how pretty those mountains are up there with the waterfalls. There are so many waterfalls here in town. When we get back to the parking lot, because we're heading back now, but when we get back to the parking lot, I'll show you the ones that I can see from the parking lot, because it's really very cool, all the waterfalls. And I know a waterfall is just gravity, but some of them are just so pretty. parking lot for the Phillips Glacier Cruise is right here. This is the Cliffside Marina. This is one of the parking lots that they tell us to use. They said there's limited parking, so I would guess from the verbiage on their website that it does fill up in the summertime during peak season. But today, I mean, I am really early, so today it doesn't seem to be all that full. Did you enjoy that? Boarding does not begin for the cruise until 11:15. It is 10:29 right now, so I've got still 45 minutes. If it stops raining, I'm gonna get out of the car and I'll try to show you the waterfalls. But like right now, because since it's raining and it's hazy, I can't see anything. Like I know there's a waterfall over there, I can't see it right now, so I'm not even gonna bother getting out in the rain to show you something that you can't see. So we will see if the rain dies down just a little bit. Because if it does and it clears up a little, I'll be able to show you what I can see. If not, I'll jump back on when we're ready to board the cruise. Well, I'm glad I got here when I did because the parking lot for sure filled up really quickly, actually. Alright, it's raining still, but I've checked in at this hut over here, and I was given my seat assignment. I'll be on the top deck. I've also been given my boarding pass and my dinner ticket. And I'm gonna get the seafood chowder, which is supposed to be like smoked salmon chowder, and I'm very excited about it. But boarding does not begin until 11:30, so I've still got some time. I came back over to this awning because there was a harbor seal in here a little while ago and I can't see it, or I can't see the harbor from the other waiting area, so thought I'd come over here. You can see kind of the waterfall over there, and there's one over here. Oh, you can see it better now. And here's one even closer. And I don't know for sure yet, but my guess is that we will be on the Chugach Express today. Not the bravest, but I really don't have any way of knowing for sure until we get on. Or I could just look closer at my boarding pass. Welcome aboard the Chugach Express. So I have to imagine this is going to be the vessel we will be on, and my seat will be right in there somewhere. My guess is one of those. Time to board. the cruise is over. I had a really good time. It was cold, it was foggy, I sat with strangers, I was brave, but we saw glaciers. We got really close to Harvard Glacier, and now it's 5:24. The next Whittier tunnel opens at 6, so I'm gonna head back to the tunnel staging area so that I can be sure to get through at 6, because I really don't want to have to wait until 7. So I'm gonna head that way. Let's go. So no toll booth here on this side, on the Whittier side of the tunnel. But when I look this way, I'm gonna try to lean. Look at that. Let's head back home. I need to turn the heat up so I can defrost my fingers because my fingers got a little cold. But I had such a good time today. I want to wrap it up when we get home because I want to think my thoughts, wrap them up, and tie them in a nice little bow. And I don't think I can do that right now. I just want to get home. So I will do that when I get home, not right now. Well, hello again. It is now a couple of days later, and I'm just now realizing I never gave you my final thoughts on the Phillips 26 Glacier Cruise, so let me go ahead and do that now. It was cold, rainy, kind of dreary, which, you know, is to be expected for October. So I'm not, like, disappointed in the weather. Would I have preferred it if it was nice? Yeah, but we still got to see Harvard Glacier, like, way up close. We also got way close to Yale Glacier, which I was not expecting. So that was really cool. No wildlife. Well, we saw some birds, we saw some sea otters. No whales, I guess I should say. No eagles, you know, which is not a big deal. Because, like, if you're in Alaska for any amount of time, chances are very high you're going to get to see an eagle, especially if you're looking for them. We just didn't have the kind of weather where we could look for them because it was so foggy in some places that we literally could not see the tree line on the islands, like, near us. So in some places, this cat is being really weird, but in some places we just couldn't. In some places we could. They do have the no seasickness guarantee for their cruise, meaning they have the catamarans with the 2 holes on the boat, so it's a much smoother ride. So they tell you that you should not get seasick on their cruises. I could see how really sensitive people might still get a little queasy on their cruises. However, I don't think I saw a single person not feeling well. No, there were people on the cruise, like especially the people at my table, that thought the food choice was weird because they didn't want to eat salmon seafood chowder on a cruise where they thought they might get seasick. I didn't have a problem with it. The chowder was delicious, by the way, and that was their included meal. They had a really good included meal, and we got chocolate chip cookies. I mean, that was awesome, and we got like really close to a waterfall at the end, so I really liked this cruise. It was pricey. If I had to choose between Phillips and Kenai Fjords, though, because they're similar price points, they're about $200 a piece. It's really tricky. It's a really tricky choice because Kenai Fjords is all the way down in Seward, so you're going to see something a little bit different. You know, you get to go to Ayalik Glacier, or I think there's another glacier down there that you might get to see if they do the other one. But you don't get to see 26 glaciers on that cruise. I think you might have a higher chance of seeing whales on the Kenai Fjords cruise, especially because they have more boats out and they're specifically looking for whales and they communicate with each other. I don't know that the Phillips cruise will send out multiple boats on the same itinerary, and I don't know that they have the same flexibility in their itinerary that Kenai Fjords has. The Phillips cruise is in Whittier, so it's not quite as far from Anchorage. Also, like, another point in the favor of the Phillips cruise is the assigned seating. I do wish that Kenai Fjords did assign seats to passengers, just because it would make it so much easier, because I had that somewhat unpleasant experience on the Kenai Fjords cruise with somebody trying to tell me that I couldn't sit where I was sitting, even though they already had seats and they had picked their seats before I picked mine, because I was trying to pick mine last. It doesn't matter. The assigned seats really does something for me. I really enjoyed that part of the Phillips cruise. And I feel like the Phillips cruise vessel was just a better vessel. It had the USB chargers at the seats, which was really nice. The seats seemed more comfortable on the Phillips cruise. So if that's something that's important to you, yeah, I don't know. It's really tough to choose between the two for me. I'm glad I did both, and I had a really good experience on both of them. So the weather on the Kenai Fjords one was much nicer, and we got to see way more whales, obviously. So, like, in my heart, I'm like, that one's my favorite, but I don't think that's fair because those are not conditions that the tour operator can control. So if I'm looking specifically at the tour itself, I think the Phillips 26 Glacier Cruise might be a slightly better itinerary, but honestly, if you can do both, if you can afford both, I would definitely recommend doing both. I would recommend riding the train from Anchorage to Whittier for the Phillips cruise if you can. And if you can't do the train, because if they're not doing the train, they also offer like coach service. So it's not that you can't drive yourself, but if I were to do it again, I think I would not choose to drive myself. Both cruises sell alcohol on board. Imbibe wisely, but if you're gonna drink to any sort of extent, I would not do that. You do have to pay for parking for the Phillips cruise. You don't have to pay for the parking for the Kenai Fjords cruise. For the Phillips cruise, you have to pay for the toll to get through the tunnel. If you're driving yourself, of course, but you don't have to do that. You don't have to pay any kind of toll or parking for the Kenai Fjords cruise. So it's really tough for me to choose between the two. I'm glad I did them both. I really enjoyed them both. But that wraps up our Phillips cruise. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this experience. I really did too. You guys will see me in another solo Alaska adventure really soon. Bye.